Hey guys, Aiden here. So today I'll be doing a comparison between the Behringer Xenix 302 USB mixer and the Scarlett 2i2 USB interface. So these products aren't directly comparable, but if you're looking for something to supply power to your microphone and a little audio interface, then these two probably will both pop up when you're looking for them, and it's worth taking a look at, I think. So the first thing I'll do is compare the build quality of these two, and things like quality control and all of that. Then I'll go into things like features, differences between them, and everything they've got on them, and what differences they have there. I'll then move on to things like what they actually output, the kind of quality of the recordings that they do, and all of the other features and bits and bobs each one supplies, and then I'll give a use case for each one, and then at the end I'll wrap up with some final conclusions about them. So starting off with the build quality, both of them are built pretty well, but the 2i2 definitely wins here. It's made of a solid aluminum construction, which feels a lot better, and it's a lot more tough. The 302 USB isn't bad by any means, but it's a lot more plasticky, and which gives it a bit more of a lightweight feel, which can be appealing for some, but the 2i2 is definitely a lot stronger. Now, the 2i2 is wider than the 302 USB, but the 302 USB is longer, so it's a bit of an either or. It depends on what your setup is like, which will fit better, and all of that. So taking a look at onboard the 302 USB, it has of course the top mic preamps, and it also has lots of inputs and outputs. It also has a power LED at the top, headphone and mic, and then it's got lots of level controls, gain, line/USB, buttons, headphone knobs, mic knob, line USB knob, main mix, some peaking levels, lots of stuff on this little mixer. So obviously the 302 USB has a lot of inputs, outputs and features. Now, in fact, it actually has a lot more than the Scarlett 2i2, even though the 2i2 is priced higher. So if you take a look at the Scarlett 2i2, you'll notice it has actually two microphone inputs compared to the one on the 302 USB, and it also has little gain adjustments and halo rings. However, it doesn't have separate mic levels and then gain as on the 302 USB, but these have better peaking recognition, so it's a bit nicer in my opinion and a bit more of an elegant solution. Moving along, you have a very important feature in my opinion, which is a button to turn off the phantom power for the microphones. It's illuminated red so you can easily see when it's on and off, and this is a huge thing. Actually something I complained about initially on the 302 USB, as you couldn't actually stop supplying power to the microphones without fully turning off the mixer by unplugging it. There wasn't even an on or off button. This is nice to see on the Scarlett 2i2, and something which is definitely a nice feature to have. You also have a direct monitor switch so that you can hear back through your headphones what you're playing, or your speakers. This is good, but the 302 USB also has this, so it's something which can go either way. It has a large knob to turn up the monitors, as you can plug speakers directly into this. I'll branch on this later, but that's definitely something which differs from the 302 USB, and something which I'll bring up later. Then you also have your headphone jack, a little power LED, and of course the volume control for the headphones. So moving around to the back, you have the USB like on the 302 USB, but you also have inputs for speakers. So obviously the 302 USB has a lot more ports and inputs and outputs than the Scarlett 2i2, but there's definitely some things that the 2i2 doesn't have, but it also has things that it has over the 302. So it's a bit different in their use case and what they supply. So moving on to the features, they're both pretty well kitted out, I've got to say. However, the 2i2 is better if you're wanting to run all of your audio into one main hub. The 2i2 can have speakers directly plugged in while you have headphones in, so this is really great if you're wanting to run speakers or headphones, and you can switch between them pretty easily and even have both running at the same time. The 2i2 is not very good for this. You usually just use your headphones to listen to it and not as a main audio interface, and it doesn't really have enough power to drive both the speakers and headphones in any case. So if you're looking for an interface for audio where all of your audio is channeled into, the 2i2 is definitely the victor here. Now the 302 USB though does have things when you're coming to mic controls which the Scarlett 2i2 just can't match on it. So it has individual levels for highs and lows, and it also has the pan of the audio. This is really nice to see and something which can be pretty good for configuring your audio. The 2i2 only has a single gain knob so that you can adjust the volume of it, whereas the 302 USB has an individual microphone level knob and also a microphone gain knob so you can play around with this. We'll come to the quality of the preamps later, but it definitely has more control on the 302 USB. You can run more mics into the Scarlett 2i2, but you can have a lot more inputs running into the 302 USB. Now this is comparing a mixer and an audio interface, so it is expected the mixer will have more inputs and more things to run into it, but definitely if you wanted to run say an iPod through it or a phone or whatever, the 302 USB is really good for that. You can do this for the 2i2 with the other mic jack, but not as elegant, and you can't run as many devices into it, so for a complete little hub when you're say on the go podcasting or anything like that, the 302 USB's definitely got a lot of features for that. It also has not only a input for headphones, but also for another microphone, say if you've got a headset, so it's got a lot of flexibility there, and something that the 2i2 just isn't built for. As I branched on before, both of them have audio level metering, and while they're both basic, the 2i2's is a more elegant solution, and one which I've just found to be a lot more superior and a better solution all round. Now with most of the features out of the way, it's got to be said that the 2i2 is definitely a more almost minimalistic design. It features only the things that you need, and it's a pretty elegant design, whereas the 302 USB is definitely more the chuck all the features on that you can get, whereas it might not have as high a focus on quality as the 2i2 does. So that definitely comes through in the mic preamps in both of them. To be fair, the 302 USB is almost half the price, and sometimes a third of the price, but it is still definitely notable that there is less hiss on the 2i2 than the 302 USB. Now, that's not saying the 302 USB is bad, and I'll give a bit of a demonstration of that pretty soon, but the 2i2 definitely edges it out here, and having multiple inputs is really great if you're needing to switch quickly between one and the other, so there's really not much competition in the supplying of the mic. However, the 302 USB does have things like individual level control for highs and lows, which the 2i2 doesn't have, but I haven't actually found that to be a big thing, as usually you can just edit most of it in post-production and edit it kind of with the audio file, so I haven't actually found that I've really used the level control on the mixer much, so really that's not a big selling point for me, but for some people that might be something which they're looking for. Okay, so firstly this is going to be a live testing of the 2i2 that I've got here, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and then directly after I'll test the Behringer Xenix 302 USB. So I'll just do a quick mic test and then I'll let you listen to the hiss in the audio levels. So testing 1 2 3, testing ABC. Okay, and then I'll let you listen to the hiss with my AT2020 and the 2i2. Okay, and to note is also that there's a little bit of background noise, although it's pretty quiet, but there is my PC just over here, which has some fans running, and it's a little bit ramped up now, so take that into note. And now I'll switch over to the 302 USB. So I'm back with the 302 USB now, and just for note, the low is slightly enhanced on the mixer, just to give an example of that, and I've got the mic levels almost up full, a little bit below, and gain is almost kind of at the bottom level, so That's what it is, and now I'll do my mic test. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, A, B, C. Okay, so now I'll let you listen to the hiss for a little bit again. Okay, so that's the 302 USB, and now we'll get back to the rest of the review, so here we go. So if you're looking at it from an aesthetic standpoint, the 2i2 definitely wins here as well. It looks just nicer, a better design, and it definitely shows from a higher end product. Now this isn't a huge thing, but it's definitely something to consider when you're looking for a nice setup. However, it also is in only red, so that doesn't mix with everyone's setup. For instance, I've got a more black and white color scheme going on in most cases, and while the red isn't really a kind of go-together color with all of this, it still doesn't look that bad actually. It's pretty muted, so it does mix well, but not perfect. So in fact, I might consider painting it, so if you're interested in seeing a video about painting a 2i2, feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me if you're interested in that. I don't really know how I'd go about it, but might give that a shot. So with most of that out of the way, I guess it's time to wrap up a bit and talk about where I think each of these are applicable in their own case. If you're looking at something that you can not only run your microphone into, but also your speakers, headphones, and whatever else, then the 2i2 is definitely the thing to get here. It can save a bit of money in some cases, as instead of having multiple separate devices for everything to go through and complicated setups and everything, it definitely can simplify it and make it a bit nicer to just have it pretty simple. I've really enjoyed having this setup with the 2i2, and it's an elegant and well-worked solution, and it's nice being able to easily switch between speakers and headphones. So if you're looking for something just to basically put your microphone through and to have it as a good solution to mix on the cheap, the 302 USB is a solid option. But if you're looking to really step it up a notch, the 2i2 is definitely the way to go, or for a kind of hub for your audio. So that's my comparison of the 2i2 and the 302 USB. So thanks for watching everyone. Feel free to like or dislike the video, and also subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see more content from me. If you have any feedback for me about this or any other video, feel free to leave it either in the YouTube comments, or you can hit me up over on Twitter as well. I'll be active in both of the places. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.